Good tidings, everybody. Welcome to the Ansem Report podcast. This is episode number 28 in the longest-running Kingdom Hearts podcast of the world, of the universe, of wherever you are at this moment right now. My name is Mike, and with me, as always, is my brother, Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hello.
How's it going?
Dude, I laid in bed for like 6 hours while awake.
Oh.
So it's been a great day.
Okay, love that for you.
In a good way. I just been laxing.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified because that could go either way.
It's not a depression nap, guys.
just keep telling yourself that. Anyway, your day's about to get even better, Jason, because we have a very special guest here today on the Ansem Report podcast. For the first time in what seems like a long time, we have a guest. I think Fabio was our last guest in episode 12. But this week, we have the amazing, the host of Luna's Galaxy, and this is another thing she's doing now. She is voicing Ava in the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross dub that Damo's putting on, among a million other things that she does. Emmy Luna's here with us today. Hello, Emmy.
Hi, 'tis I, Emmy Luna Games. Hello.
She is here,
Hello.
Emmy Luna Games. We were saying before we started recording that we've wanted to have you on the podcast for a very long time, and due to no fault of your own, it just hasn't happened till now, but we are very excited to have you. Welcome.
I'm very excited to be here. What an honor. What an honor.
Oh, thank you. I'm actually a big fan of your podcast. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but
Thank you.
I listen all the time, and a lot of times I don't even know the games you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
that
I'm just
makes
like,
sense, yeah.
because I'm not, you like a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily
Mike barely
like.
plays games nowadays.
That's true
He's
as well,
a fake
yeah.
gamer.
I'm a bit of a fake gamer girl. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Why don't you, if people aren't familiar with you at home, tell them who you are and what you do.
So I am Emmy Luna Games. My name is Emmy, but you can also call me Luna. And I'm literally Emmy Luna Games everywhere on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. But I stream on Twitch. I have a podcast called the Luna's Galaxy Podcast where I talk about video game news, what I've been playing, and sometimes I do some questions, kind of similar to how you guys do Question of the Week, only though my podcast isn't that consistent, so it's just kind of like a question every 2 weeks to month or so. But yeah, I do stuff like that, and apparently voice acting now, so yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been hearing your name a lot when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, I know Tatsu's working on this like secret project, and he's like, I'm gonna see if I can get Emmy. And it's like, wow, Emmy's like the voice actress of the Kingdom Hearts community now.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. You do have a very, like your voice fits in that realm of like an Ava or a Kairi or even a Naminé kind of thing. You have that kind of voice that just works for that. So it makes sense.
I've heard that, and I feel like I've consumed enough Kingdom Hearts in my life that I know how Kingdom Hearts characters speak. Like, it's weird. Like, it's a very specific kind of delivery. I feel like it's ingrained in my mind, so, yeah.
It is a very specific way of speaking because there's a lot of awkward pauses.
Yeah, exactly. So...
And a lot of people, like, I'm no professional voice actor or anything, but I do some impressions here or there, and what people don't always understand is most, like, impression work like that is, like, the way they speak, not how they sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you can sound just like somebody, but if you don't know how they, like, speak, like, the way they enunciate things and the speech patterns and all that, like, it's not going to be a good impression or a good, not that you're really doing an impression for Ava, I guess, because it's, like, you're voicing stuff that hasn't really been voiced before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd call it that's just voice acting. That's not an impression,
Yeah, it's like I try and sound like the original voice actor because she is one of the characters that already has a voice actor, unlike some of the other English ones like Strelitzia or Brain and a lot of those characters. So it's kind of a mix of trying to sound like her, but also doing my own thing because what would be the point if I was just doing a perfect impression, I guess. That's my take
for
anyway.
sure.
I like doing my own thing. I think it's more fun.
I agree. I think that's the way to do it. I guess we can just go there. What has that been like working on that fan dub?
It was a lot of fun. So I did all my recording a while ago.
Okay, so you're
it's not
wrapped
as
already.
Fresh in my mind. But yeah, we did a lot of the recording a while ago, and man, like if y'all haven't seen it already, Damo put out a trailer for the project, and there are so many talented people on it. Like, I mean, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but you know, I've been able to hear a lot of the other people that have worked on the dub, their lines outside of just the trailer and stuff. I've been able to hear them, and they are so cool. And like one thing I really loved has been those characters that haven't had their official English voice actor yet. And so hearing those original takes on the character and, you know, seeing people kind of be creative with that, like that was one of my favorite things. And then also hearing some of the characters that do already have a voice, like they sound so similar, but also so it's their own. It's so cool. I think people will really like it.
Yeah, I'm very excited to hear more because I did watch the trailer he released, and it's incredible. And I mean, the amount of work he sent me the script today for reasons I'm not going to disclose here today. But just looking at that script made me want to just.
It's huge.
I don't understand how he's doing all that and just collecting all these talented people to do it. It's incredible.
It's really impressive. And, you know, a lot of the time I feel like when you see these fan projects, a lot of the time they fall through, and this has been going for months now.
It's so monumental.
And the cast, like we have this big cast and they're so talented, and sometimes you don't get the talent, or sometimes, you know, life just gets in the way, it doesn't happen. But this is really strong, and I'm really happy with it.
It just seems like it's going to be a huge success and a really cool thing for the Kingdom Hearts community to have. And you know, kudos to everybody that's worked on it, but Damo especially, because he's been working
hard. I've been like worried about him sometimes.
Almost everything he's doing to just work on this, you know, and because you're not seeing a lot of videos come out of the, you know, Damo 279 YouTube channel right now. There's his podcast he does with Water, which I feel like they're just recording conversations they'd have anyway, you know. So, but yeah, and then kudos to him and hard work. I know he's going a bit nuts right now, but he's near the finish line. It's going to be pretty soon, I think. So, very exciting stuff, and that's super awesome that you know, you got to work on it and do all that.
And I know I was talking with a lot of the other voice actors that are in it, and a lot of us were like, you know, we auditioned, but we didn't think we'd get the specific part that we got. It's like we were all kind of shocked. So, yeah. Really cool.
I thought about auditioning, but then I didn't.
Yeah.
Because
I
was like,
auditioned for
a
few characters, and then I ended up getting Ava, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's like a major role,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's like what, a top 3 role as far as probably. Well, yeah, no, she talks a lot, right?
I mean, outside of like the main cast, it's probably the most
as far
lines.
As the foretellers, she probably has the most lines.
As far as the foretellers, she definitely has the most lines. There are some people that had, you know, 200, 300 lines or so. I think it's like Brain, Chirithy. Although I think some of Chirithy's lines got split up because there's some different Chirithys. But one core.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's some characters that have hundreds of lines. Ava had about 70-ish, and I don't think that includes. So I didn't record all of Ava's lines because some of the stuff that is in Union Cross was already dubbed in back cover, so Damo just used that original stuff.
Right. That's like a work smarter, not harder.
It was still a lot. It was still a lot of fun. But also that's good awesome. Not to have, you know, like 300, because then it's like, oh god. And because I didn't have as much to do as other people, I did get to do some smaller stuff as well, which was fun. I got to play around a bit, so
nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I always think that's cool about voice acting in general when you're watching like an English dub of like some anime or something, and you're like, wait a minute, that's the same guy that voices this person, or you know what I mean? Because they just throw, you know, oh, you want to do some extra work? Here you go, you know. And that I even like not even anime, but just I remember the Ninja Turtles cartoon from back in the day, from like the late 80s, early 90s, and like there'd just be random punk guy in an alley, and it'd be Raphael's voice, and you could tell. And as a kid, I didn't know, but like I saw it as an adult, and I went, "Wait a minute, that's the same guy." So that stuff always is really cool to me. Jason and I love picking out voice actors and stuff we're playing and stuff. But let's switch gears a little bit, Emmy. Something we ask everybody who comes on the podcast is how they discovered Kingdom Hearts. Like, what got them into Kingdom Hearts in the first place?
So Mine's like a bit of a story. If you are, I did like a very in-depth podcast about my Kingdom Hearts stuff. It was for KH20. So if you want like really detailed version, you can go listen to that. It's on YouTube and podcasts.
You guys should go listen to that.
Yeah,
it's a really good episode.
Kind of the summarized version of it was I was a kid and I was at one of my friends' houses and I like had to go home. Her mother had to drive me home because it was like, okay, like she's been here for a while. Leave. And so I remember her saying to my friend, like, oh, it's fine. Like, when you get home, like, you can go play, like, Kingdom Hearts with your sister or something. Like, trying to, like, make her feel better about the fact that her friend was leaving. And I don't know what it was. Something about that interaction stuck with me. And then I don't know if it was, like, days or weeks later, because I was a kid, no concept of time, especially back then. And so, I don't know, a while after that, probably, like, a week or two, I was at Walmart with my mom, and I don't think they really have this anymore at Walmart, at least not at my Walmart, where they would have, like, the bargain bin of, like, PS2 games, like, greatest hits stuff, and I saw Kingdom Hearts 2, and I was like, Mom! I was like, can I, like, it has, like, Donald Duck on the cover, like, and she was like, okay, and I didn't know that it was Kingdom Hearts 2 at the time, because I was a child, so I didn't see, like, the Roman numeral 2.
Right.
And so it took me, like, really getting into Kingdom Hearts, like, playing a bit of it and, you know, looking at, like, YouTube videos online and stuff, being like, oh, there's, like, this is the second game. So that's how I got into Kingdom Hearts as a young
I feel
one.
like that's pretty common for 2 to be people's first.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Tatsu's story is similar to that, where
it's
he played
very
Kingdom Hearts.
unoriginal, I know.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think Kingdom Hearts 2 was
making
just
it up.
Such a step up in popularity
Definitely.
that it was everywhere, as opposed to 1 where it was kind of this thing starting. But if you got into 1 first, it's because you saw the commercial, the Simple and Clean Planet B remix commercial. Otherwise, you saw 2 on a shelf and you bought it. I feel like those are the only 2 Kingdom Hearts stories of origin.
Yeah, and I feel
one
like
of those 2.
I feel like it's a good thing that I started with 2 because I probably would have got on with Kingdom Hearts 1 as well. But I remember the thing that I really liked about Kingdom Hearts 2, and I don't know if this is just because it was my first or whatever, but I really liked that opening bit in Twilight Town with Roxas, because I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea who Roxas was. I didn't know who Sora was. And so I was just, like, invested in, like, the mystery of it. And I was like, oh, like, Twilight Town is so nice. And I like Roxas, and I like his friends, and there's, like, these weird people in cloaks, and I was just there for the ride. It was great. And then I got to Disney. I remember getting to the Mulan world and being like, oh my God. I remember I went upstairs to, like, see my mom. And I was like, guess what is happening in this game that I am playing? So that, like, the Disney was, like, the icing on the cake, so to speak. So, yeah.
Well, that's how you know a video game's good, if you try to tell your parents about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember trying to, like, tell my dad about something, and he'd just be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like Walter White and Jesse. Yeah. My dad would just look at me like, Walter White, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, but it's an interesting perspective coming into 2, not knowing who Sora is as well as Roxas, because it's like, you don't care that you're not with Sora.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like,
when I got to Sora, I kind of missed Roxas. I was like, what's going on here?
Awesome.
When you don't go back, like, you don't even, like, see him until the very end in, like, regular KH2. Like, he's not there to the very end.
Yeah. I can't imagine seeing it that way, because it's just like, I would be so upset, because I love Roxas now, but I remember at the time being like, where's Sora? Like,
and that's how a lot of people felt, but for me, that was never a thing, and I think that's why I like that opening bit so much, whereas I know a lot of people find it, like, to be too slow or whatever, but I really love it.
I feel like that's just like any game that does that, right? Where, you know, by the end of the first game, you're super strong, and then you play the sequel, and it's like, well, now you gotta get everything back. But it's like, with that, you even have to get the character back.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not even just the abilities. Like, you gotta go save Sora first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess in a similar question, but not exactly the same, Emmy. You know, you've been making Luna's Galaxy. You stream on Twitch from time to time. You do a lot of different content creation stuff. What got you into that?
Like, I've always been interested, and I've been really into games probably since I was, like, 12 was when I, like, really, kind of got into more of, like, the industry stuff, like E3 and, watching that every year and getting, like, caught up with news, and so that's when I really kinda started thinking about this stuff, but as for how I actually kinda really got into it was an impulse one day.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was just bored and I was like, I need to do something. And so I just had gotten a new gaming laptop and I was like, well, let's go on Twitch. And that's literally how all of this started. But I mean, I've always been interested in this and I've like dabbled in it throughout the years. I don't know if you guys know this, but a few years ago, I actually used to be a co-host very briefly on Kingdom Hearts Union, that podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah, that
you said something about that in our chat, and I was like, wait, she's talking about the dub, right? But no, wait, you got to tell this story now, because I did not know this.
It was very short-lived. It was a little after Kingdom Hearts 3 had come out. I was a co-host on Kingdom Hearts Union. The reason it didn't last too long was me and the other host, Brandon, were like exactly 12 hours apart because he was living in Japan. And so to record, like ideal time for him would be like, let's say 11 a.m., 12 p.m. And then that's like midnight for me. So
right.
It was pretty short-lived. It was a lot of fun. And that's really when I started doing like more so Kingdom Hearts stuff other than just like silly fan pages and like reblogging fan art on Tumblr. So
yeah. Kingdom Hearts Union, I mean, okay, hold on. So the Kingdom Hearts Union
never break character.
No, I'm doing it right now.
Never
Kingdom Hearts
break
Union
character
is actually the longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast, right?
I think so.
They have like 500 some episodes or something over years and years and years.
I want to say
stopped and started
last year. I want to say last year. But
they stopped
they
last
were
year.
long.
But so it's the actual longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast, though, because I
think so.
And people will forget I said this, and they'll go, "Oh," but
how
like
could you?
So we were in Damo's chat one day, and Churro, was trying to start an argument with Damo that we weren't the longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast because of Kingdom Hearts Union. But
I mean, he's like kind of right, but
he's right. But like everybody knows it's a bit, right?
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be a bit. And I just think that's really funny.
Yeah.
Because Damo said it in his like sarcastic tone, right?
Remember,
like he's like, "Oh, what up, Spikes?"
I remember the first time I listened to the podcast, I was like, "What?" but then like I caught on. I was like, I know they know that's not actually the case.
Well, we're not even like number 2.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even like we might be top 5. I think we got to be top 5 at this point. And I think we will eventually actually be.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Kingdom Hearts Union's done.
Mm-hmm.
Got it memorized, does Twin Peaks now or did or something, and then Kingdom Smarts will run out of content eventually because the whole purpose is they explain it. So I think those are the ones that are in front of us. If I'm missing your Kingdom Hearts podcast that has 600 episodes, I'm so sorry. Please yell at me in the comments. But no, that's incredible. I didn't know you were part of that at all.
Yeah, and that was before I even did like content creation stuff. Really,
How did you just fall into that?
Me and Brandon, the host, had been following each other on Twitter for a while. And I literally just tweeted one day, like, I have a lot of thoughts, feel like I should be on a podcast or something. Like, something along those lines, and he DM'd me, and he was like, do you want to be on the podcast? Like, because I think it was just him and Churro at that time.
Right.
And, it was kind of right after Kingdom Hearts 3 had come out, and they had kind of finished their coverage, and they just, they needed more content and, stuff like that. And so, it quite literally just like fell into my hands.
That is
I put it out into the universe and then it happened, which very rare. So
yeah, but if you don't put it out there, it never happens, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
because it taught me a lot about podcasting. Because that was my first podcasting experience, and so then when I knew I wanted to do Luna's Galaxy, it was so much easier because I already had that I can't think of the word. what's it called? Like a foundation for it. So
yeah.
You had some skills that you were taught by being on like an actual like professional podcast,
exactly.
right?
Like I make like my outline kind of similarly to how we did it on Kingdom Hearts Union, and even just like learning Audacity and stuff. So
right.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, that's a good segue actually, because I wanted to ask you about Luna's Galaxy because one of the things I really admire about your podcast is how it is just you.
Yeah.
You know, Jason and I have the crutch of being able to lean on each other to talk about whatever. But you are just incredible at doing it on your own, but not you're never bored or boring. You know what I mean? Like you're very good at just talking, I guess, to yourself.
Yeah.
But in a way that makes everybody else listening feel like they're part of it, right?
Yeah, thank you. Like and that was always kind of and it still is to a degree, one of my big worries with Luna's Galaxy is that I worry I'm not like engaging enough, because even like pretty much all the podcasts I listen to have like multiple hosts, and so you know, you just kind of have that natural back and forth that I think people listening to podcasts really enjoy. But, you know, just doing it on my own, it's, I just talk a lot. Like, you know,
right, but it works, you know? Like,
yeah,
and
exactly.
It's amazing to me because I couldn't imagine doing something like this without Jason or somebody else, right? Specifically Jason, because him and I have pretty good chemistry.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're brothers. We know each other.
Right,
yeah. You know, I used to change his diapers or whatever.
Because even like streaming, like you have like chat to bounce off of. Like it's not even the same with that either.
Right.
I have a lot of thoughts up in there.
That's my problem. It's just head empty, I guess.
Like, I know I'm like kind of like sucking you off right now, but I'm just saying,
it's
like,
fine.
you don't like ramble. Like, I feel like if I tried to do a podcast by myself, it'd be just me like rambling and just incoherent. And you do a really good job of just staying on focus. And you like, you know, there's likes and ums like anybody does.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm amazed at how you're able to do that. It's one of my favorite things about
when
your
I'm
podcast.
editing, one of the biggest things is I'll hear like my pauses or like my ums, because I honestly don't pause much when I'm recording. It's just like I don't stop, but I get those like ums and I'm like, oh god, I want to edit it out, but it's like I say something and right away there's an and then right away I start talking again, and so it's like hard to edit it out, and I'm like, Ugh. But
yeah, I do that as well. The really egregious they're gone. Like
I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah, I cringe daily because I do all the editing, and I say way more than Jason does. Jason will say but his ums are like they mean something somehow.
And I'm like, I don't even know if when people listen to the podcast, if they even notice it, because they're not paying nearly as much attention to it as I am when I'm editing. Like they're doing something else and this is on in the background. But like when you're just kind of listening to it and editing and, you know, you're really critical of yourself, it's like, oh my God.
Right, because I'm sure Jason, if he was editing it, he'd listen to some of the stuff he says and go, oh, that's so bad. You need to edit that, right? Where I'm like,
I just simply don't.
That sounds great to me when I'm hearing it, but when I hear myself, I'm like, oh, I just said 3 times in a row, what the fuck? And then I'm like editing it down, and so I just couldn't imagine doing that by myself because it would there would be like there would be so much like that where it's just like, holy cow. But you've inspired me because I've wanted to do this Castlevania podcast for a long time. And people keep giving me shit about it because I kind of made art for it before I even started to work on it. But that would be something that I would do by myself. And so I'm like, okay, if Emmy can do this, I can do this. Like, I you know, and so I say you've inspired me, but I've done zero work on it. But I will eventually.
I mean,
you didn't do zero work. You did some, but
yeah, I've done some things. Yeah.
I mean, for me, the main reason I did it by myself was literally just that, like, I didn't know who would be like a good fit to bounce off of, and then I started thinking about like, how am I gonna edit this? Because like it's probably not that difficult, but it's still a new thing to learn. Because you know, even when I did Kingdom Hearts Union, I never did any of the editing. I just recorded. I didn't have to do that like, you know, overlapping stuff, and it was just like And then I also have anxiety, so it's like talking to people all the time. Then you have to schedule it out, and it's just doing it by myself. I could do it anytime I wanted, and that was that was great. So like,
it just adds more excuses you could give yourself to not do
yes,
it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're free. You don't have to. You're not at the whim of somebody else.
Exactly. And that worked really well for me.
Jason and I work pretty well together, but I've done podcasts with other people, Sean, and sometimes it's tough to, get everybody on the same page to get stuff done.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me about it.
We both just are like, yeah, Sean's the worst podcast host.
Yeah.
Sean's like the most flexible.
Yeah, I know. Sean's a really good guy. He's awesome. But yeah, so even if someone's not being like difficult, it still is more difficult than just turning on a microphone and recording yourself, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Well, and with anxiety, it's like something you could have done a million times and just still feel kind of anxious about it, you know?
Okay. So, another question for you, another topic. I know you are a frequent chatter in different Twitch streams.
He said frequent.
Why would I say that?
I know. Well, then I put it together that you didn't. I was, frequent.
Frequent.
I know you're a frequent.
You're not
Roxas
a freak.
is on screen. You're a freak when Roxas is on screen, maybe.
No, what I was gonna say is, I know you watch different people's content. Who's a content creator that you like, and you're like, hey, I want people to know about this person?
Like, honestly, you guys, like,
no,
like
I mean,
honestly,
it doesn't do us any good. Everybody that's listening already listens.
But like, and I was thinking about this earlier. Like, I still haven't, like, I don't know much about Dark Road because I just didn't care. To be completely honest, I don't like Young Xehanort.
Totally fair.
And so, like, I wasn't
Based,
interested in it at all. But like, the only thing that I know about Dark Road was what I saw from your guys' stream. And when Mike was doing the Mickey voice for one of, I can't even remember the character's name, but it was like the bad guy.
It was Balder.
Balder.
Such a fortunate accident.
Yeah.
And I think Jason was doing like an Obama voice or something. That's all I remember about Dark Road is that experience. So
you will forever remember Balder as Mickey Mouse voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad we did that the way we did it.
That whenever Damo gets to doing Dark Road, that's what he does. That you
he casts me as Mickey Mouse as Balder.
Yes.
All right. Put in a good word for me.
I will.
Yeah.
I think it would be great.
Oh my god.
You know how mad people would be?
They would be disgustingly
people
mad.
Would be so mad about that.
I'd love that.
I used to take Damo seriously with the Union Cross dub, but not the Dark Road one with the Mickey Mouse voice. He's changed. People would be so angry. Oh my god. Well, thank you for saying us, even though that's not what I was going for. I mean, you're embarrassing us.
I mean, honestly, like some other ones would be like KH Guides. He does such fantastic work. I haven't been able to catch his streams in a while. But just like the quality of his streams are like impeccable, like all of like the graphics he has and like this.
Utah puts a lot of love into it.
He does a lot, and with like the success of KH20, like him and a lot of the people that put that together, like that was impressive.
Yeah, are you planning on going to the Reconnect?
Reconnect.
I mean, I'm in Atlantic, Canada, so it would be expensive. So probably not, but like I was really active for like the Twitch streams that they did for KH20, and I was like in the chat, and it was a lot of fun even just experiencing it that way. So I'll definitely do that again.
Did you say Atlanta, Canada?
Atlantic, Canada.
Atlantic, Canada.
The Atlantic provinces, yes.
Yeah, no, that makes more sense. I was like, is there an Atlanta in Canada?
No, I don't think so anyway.
It's got to be terrible if it exists.
Just like real Atlanta. Just like
real Atlanta. Real Atlanta.
It's fake because it's Canadian. Duh.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So, Emmy, we do this thing. I know you're familiar with the show. The Master Xehanort Real Organization 13 questions hot seat.
Yes. I've been excited for this.
Oh, okay, good. Because it is time. You are officially on the hot seat. Are you ready?
I don't know, but let's go for it.
Okay, question 1. Favorite Kingdom Hearts game?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay. Based?
Yeah.
Favorite non-Kingdom Hearts game?
Non-Kingdom Hearts game? 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Love it.
That sounds scary.
Oh,
it does.
Is it a horror game?
It's a visual novel. It has horror elements. I don't know if I would consider it horror, but I'll give you the gist of it because my life mission is to get as many people as possible to be interested.
I wondered when you were going to sneak this in.
9 doors.
Go ahead, do your thing.
So basically what happens is our main character, Junpei, he wakes up in this ship and he is with these 8 other people. So there's 9 of them. And so there's 9 people, right? And they are stuck on this ship and they have 9 hours to escape. And there's 9 doors. And the door that they escape through is the number 9 door. And if they don't escape, the ship is going to sink. And they've all been kidnapped here by this person called Zero. And yeah, so that's the plot-ish of it. But there's also like some pseudoscience. There's multiple endings. It is... I love it so much.
I don't know the like series name.
Zero Escape.
But it's like yeah, Zero Escape. Okay, yeah. I was like, that's the one where they can like shift and stuff, right?
Yes.
Or like one of them does or something. I don't know.
Yes, that's more.
I only know
more
a little
so
bit from watching like your stream and Whale's stream and like.
That's more so in the sequels, but yes, it is that series with the shifting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is your life's mission to get people to play this game.
Correct.
This specific game, right?
Yes, 999 is my favorite.
There's like some puzzles and stuff. It's cool.
Yes, there's escape rooms. That's like the gameplay of it is escape rooms, puzzles.
So the gameplay is like that one part of Danganronpa 2.
I'm trying to remember.
Or like if you're on addicting games and you're just like, it's like
Nagito.
Escape the car.
I can't.
When you're Nagito and you're in the escape room.
Oh, yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
But like a lot better. Like a lot better.
Yeah,
I think if someone likes
sucks,
Danganronpa, they'll like Zero Escape because that's kind of how I got into Zero Escape. But yeah, it's better, like so much better.
Okay.
It definitely seems better having watched the gameplay of both.
It's more mature and like less anime, I would say, if that appeals to anyone.
Okay.
It's a lot less exaggerated, I guess.
I'm giving you the floor completely on this, Emmy. Anything else you want to say to convince people?
Oh, I don't know, but the Nonary Games is the collection. It comes with 999 and the sequel, Virtue's Last Reward. It is often on sale for like $10 on like PSN and Steam. For some reason, it's not on Switch yet, but it is everywhere else. So you can get it pretty cheap and with the sequel, which is like equally as good, I would say. So check it out. You won't regret it. I love it so much.
A ringing endorsement, guys.
Yes.
From Emmy.
Please play 999.
Next question. What is your favorite Kingdom Hearts character?
Maybe Zigbar.
Okay, don't say maybe.
Like, here's the thing. I find, because I've liked Kingdom Hearts for so long, I find that my favorite characters change a lot. Like, when I was a kid, it was Sora, or then it was, like, Kairi and Riku. Like, I feel like I've gone through a phase where every character almost was my favorite, so that's what makes it weird.
That's fair.
Yeah, but in more recent years, I've really liked Zigbar. I also really like Xion. It's just, it's hard, you know?
Well, like, when you do, like, subsequent playthroughs, you catch more, or you appreciate other things more, and so you're like, you know what, recency bias? Axel's the best this time, guys.
No, not Axel. I love Axel in, like, Chain of Memories and in Kingdom Hearts 2, but then, make him an asshole again. I like problematic
Axel. He fell off.
He did. But anyway.
So I agree. Zigbar is definitely a character that is becoming more interesting.
I really like
the more
Zigbar.
I play Kingdom Hearts.
And he's really sexy, so.
I was waiting for that too.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, the epilogue of Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
More Zigbar.
Question
anyway.
4. Favorite Disney movie?
Ooh, I don't know. The 2 that I grew up with that I really loved were like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
Very classic, maybe boring. Honestly, this is probably an unpopular one, oddly enough, but I really like Frozen. And I feel like that's more of just like a personal thing of like I really like Elsa and Anna, and like me and my friends like watching it. And so I really like Frozen. I was really happy when that was in Kingdom Hearts 3, even with the silly musicals. Honestly, that was probably my favorite thing about those worlds, were like Let It Go and just like seeing Goofy
like
there.
The audio is like layered like 3 times and you're like, what are you saying?
It was, yeah, so I do. I really like Frozen.
I feel like Frozen 1 was like a cultural event.
It was.
It was. Well, and I think when that kind of thing happens, people tend to turn on it.
Exactly.
But I think in a few years, most people will be like, Frozen's good.
You'll get those video essays.
They'll come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Frozen was actually
Frozen
good.
is the best Disney movie. I don't think anybody will say it's the best Kingdom Hearts world, though. I think that's impossible.
I never have.
I think if they did like a Frozen 2 world, that could be cool because there's a bit more like environments there. But anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. Favorite Disney villain?
Ooh, I didn't think of this. Oh God. I'm trying. Jafar. You know what? I'm gonna say Jafar because of Jafar's abs. Genie Jafar's abs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna go the on-brand answer, or are you gonna take us off road here? But Jafar's abs is the on-brand answer.
I was taken off guard because I couldn't think genuinely, but then I was like, wait a minute, because the only one coming to mind was Jafar, and then I was like, wait, I have to say Jafar.
Genie Jafar's abs. He's got like a 12-pack.
It's the hot seat. You just have to say the first thing.
Yeah. So Genie Jafar's abs specifically.
Washboard. What is your favorite Keyblade?
God, that's another tough one. I like Oblivion. It's really edgy and cool and like just like what I wanted when I was like 12 playing Kingdom Hearts.
Exactly.
I remember being in like art class in grade 6 and we were like making things out of cardboard and I ended up like making the Oblivion Keyblade, like cutting it out and like painting it. Anyway, I got rid of it because it was like falling apart. But I had it for a while.
I was saying, I feel like that's like a really hard one to do.
Yeah, it wasn't the best decision on my part. And I remember the teacher was like, you can't make like any weapons or anything. And I was like, okay, it's just a key.
It's a key.
I was like, it's just
it's not a weapon.
Yeah.
Blade.
It's a key blade.
Yeah, exactly. So that's I really
awesome.
like Oblivion.
You're swinging around like a sword, Emmy.
Yeah, it's not just a phase, Mom.
Exactly.
What's your favorite Kingdom Hearts song?
Ooh, you know what I really love? I really love Lazy Afternoons, but specifically like the PS2 Kingdom Hearts 2 version.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about how they did the remasters when they like redid some of the music, but that Lazy Afternoons didn't hit with me. I didn't like it as much. And I don't know what it is, but the PS2 version is
I think your brain just knows that it's not the original.
Do you want to know what I think it is?
I think it's something about like the guitar or like it's like one of the instruments is just off.
I think it's the because songs were lower quality on PlayStation 2 discs.
I think it just
it's
sounded
like the buzzing.
Worse. Yeah.
There's like a buzzing that happens in some of those high notes that it's like aesthetically pleasing, and they cleaned it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you don't have the same like inlaid in like nostalgia for it, where you're like, oh, this is what I did, because it sounds too nice. You're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I remember.
Because I remember when I was like playing the remasters, I was like, oh, what is this?
Like, wait.
And like all the other songs I think sound better. It's just that one specifically I'm like, but the PS2 version is like so good.
I remember like a specific like buzzing in it where I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is comfy. And then
especially when it hits the high note.
Yeah, those high notes, like you're like,
it's just so comforting. It's so good.
Bring back that low KPS quality of the song, please.
Yep.
Next question. What world do you want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4?
Well, I mean, I already said Frozen 2. I think that would be cool. I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know what direction Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to take with the worlds.
Yeah.
But
it's a big question mark.
Yeah. So, because like we see Hades, so it's implied that Olympus or the underworld is going to be there. But then there's also like the Star Wars tease, so it's like, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, Moana.
Frozen 2 can be your answer. Moana's a good one. Yeah.
I think I'd be shocked. But honestly, what I want more than Moana, just because I like the movie more, would be like a properly Lilo and Stitch world that isn't, deep space.
That's the best
I love
answer.
Lilo and Stitch a lot more than I love Moana. I don't know if that's nostalgia or something, but
it's just the right answer.
Yeah, I like Stitch. I like sort of the theme in that movie about like family and all that stuff. I think it would work so well with Kingdom Hearts, but yeah. Put in like an Elvis song.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You brought up the Hades thing in the KH4 trailer, and Jason famously, when we were talking about the trailer originally, said he thought the blue flame that shows up was Sans from Undertale.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And today,
it's Sans.
HMK tweeted that scene from the trailer, asking who people thought it was, if it was who they were talking about, Hades or Orin or whoever.
Yeah.
And I just replied Sans, and so hopefully he likes that.
I hope that HMK is on the list of people that you want to get to like interview on the podcast.
You know, people ask us that all the time, and we've even had people like go into his like Twitch chat and ask him, and he's just like, "Hey man, if they ask me, sure." And I'm just too scared of that. That's very
fair.
scary. Because, you know, we're pretty critical of him at times, and it's a scary thought to I don't know what would happen. That would be a pretty, maybe that's like
that could be like the season finale,
yeah. Yeah. His HMK is on. Who was the best Xehanort?
So this is out of like all the Norts, like all the yeah. I was also thinking about this earlier because I thought this was a question. I would say Xemnas. Like I already said, I'm a young Xehanort hater. I also don't really like Xehanort, so it was really between Ansem and Xemnas.
As it should be.
Yeah, I agree.
That should be like the only two that you're debating.
Truly, those are the correct answers.
If you're one of the bio-water twins, you say young Xehanort, but everybody else says Ansem or Xemnas.
Yeah, I would say Xemnas, and I feel like him and Ansem are pretty close. Like they both got really nice voices.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. They do.
They're iconic.
Yeah.
I can instantly hear.
Indeed.
I can instantly hear them in anything else they do because they just have very rich voices.
But I would say Xemnas. I think I really like the organization. Like Organization 13 in general is probably like a lot of my favorite characters in the series, probably because they're like morally gray. And I think in Days especially, you get to see the more quirky and like funny side of them as well, which I feel like Kingdom Hearts kind of needs more of, is just like, I don't know, shitty fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Organization is good for that. So yeah, I would say Xemnas.
And I was going to say, I think that's why people like the manga so much.
Yeah. The 358 over 2 days manga was pretty goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Next question. What is the best Melody of Memory song?
The one that I remember playing the most was probably One Winged Angel. But, yeah. It's been a while since I played Melody of Memory.
I just don't like that it's on the Olympus track, even though like it makes sense. Like that's literally where you fight him the first time, but like I was like, come on, bruh.
Yeah, I remember liking that one because that was when I was going for the platinum. The only trophy that I needed left was to like defeat however many enemies, and it was the most like tedious, annoying thing ever. And so instead of doing that one Olympus song, oh god, is that the one? I don't know.
No, it's the What Lies Beneath or whatever.
Yes. So instead of doing that one or like the really hard
it's the
Kingdom
fight
Hearts
one,
3
isn't it?
one the most.
You're right.
When the cymbal comes in though, that shit's crazy.
That song goes pretty hard.
Yeah, so instead of doing those ones all the time, I was doing One Winged Angel a bit. So like honestly, that's one of the only ones I can really remember.
No,
like
One Winged Angel's a great song.
Stuff. Yeah.
I'm on record saying it's a great song. People just overrate the hell out of it. You know?
I think that the Advent Children version of One Winged Angel with the guitar is sick. That's like my favorite version of it, but yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, so this next one, we have 3 questions left.
Yes.
You're doing great, by the way.
Thank you.
It doesn't even feel like you're on a hot seat right now.
Your score is pretty high.
Yep.
I have a lot of thoughts. I talk a lot, so.
Yeah. This one's a bit more sappy.
Okay.
What does being a member of the online Kingdom Hearts community mean to you?
Bro, I've been here for a while. Like I've been here since I was like 12. So like it's a lot. Like I find one of the best things is, growing up I loved Kingdom Hearts to a point where I remember being in elementary and like trying to get all my friends to like Kingdom Hearts, and like I just talked about it a lot and it was annoying. No one really, they would entertain me, but they wouldn't, you couldn't really talk to them about stuff. But, getting involved with the online community, you can actually talk about, like, I'm not really a theory person, but like theories and just the characters and, analyzing stuff and just talking about it, really. That was when I first started like Twitch streaming, especially, one of the first things I did was I wanted to play a lot of the Kingdom Hearts games because I just wanted to share my love for the series with people, because like unless you're really lucky, like a lot of people don't have that in their day-to-day life, like real life people that they can connect with their interests when it's, nerdy shit. So that's definitely my favorite thing about being a part of the online community. And, sometimes the discourse is funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just see things. I'm like,
I know some people get upset about it, but it makes me chuckle most of the time.
I've been here long enough. I've seen this show and dance before, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, something that it provides is a way to make more content on the podcast, because if I get all huffy and rant about someone's doing in the community, people tend to like that. They go, oh yeah, Mike's mad again, when I'm not really. I just think it's, it's easy content.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. Well said, by the way.
Thank you.
What are your goals for the next year as far as content creation?
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like right now I'm in this weird spot. I've been in a bit of a hiatus, just trying to like figure out what to do content-wise. And I think where I'm starting to land on that is to focus a bit more on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately, and I feel like I really like doing some of the YouTube stuff that I did. I did some like sort of highlight type videos for my previous Twitch streams for like Final Fantasy VII and the Somnium Files and stuff. But I'd be interested in kind of moving some stuff that I would talk about on the podcast to a video format. So like one thing could be like, game reviews that I would usually do on the podcast being a video instead, and just stuff like
a video
that.
essay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested in like video essays that, hopefully wouldn't be too annoying, but
I love video essays.
Me too,
I
that's
listen
all
to
I've
them
been
like
watching
all
lately.
the time while I work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that in podcasts, or like I eat that shit up. So
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm leaning right now.
Okay,
but like
I'd love
honestly,
to see
who
it.
knows? Yeah, but
yeah,
I think I'm gonna start doing more stuff soon, so that's good. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing a lot from you about how you're struggling with how to move forward a lot of that stuff, and I've been identifying with that recently, because we had our little bit of a hiatus and stuff.
It's just hard sometimes, because you wanna keep what people like, and you want to do what you like, but you also kind of get bored sometimes, or you feel like you have to try something new, just like for yourself, even if it's not for other people.
Right.
Just try something else and try and improve and all those other things.
What I found is, we're working on the sub-a-thon thing, and then I want to start doing, I can't do once a week with my job, but at least once a month doing something a little different on either YouTube or Twitch or whatever it might be. So, and gaining some new skills, because that's one of the things I kind of miss about when we started out, when we were just doing Let's Plays and stuff, is I would just try to do a bunch of different things, and I was learning how to do it in the first place, because I didn't know.
Learn a lot at once.
Right. And so I kind of want to start pushing what we do a little differently, and learning some stuff that's scary a little bit, you know what I mean?
And I think for me, part of the YouTube thing is also that, I feel good about where I am with Twitch right now, even though I haven't streamed in a while, but like I know how Twitch works. I know how to do a stream. But like with YouTube, I'm still kind of learning how to like edit and just stuff like that. So I feel like that's also, like you said, like learning and improving your skills instead of just kind of stagnating, which was kind of what I was feeling like. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
The final question, it's not really a question, but it's I want you to plug your stuff to everybody. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but where can people find you with what you're working on and all that?
Yeah, so I am at Emiluna Games. That is EMILUNA Games. You spell games. And that's where I am everywhere. I'm on Twitch, Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. That's like the best place to find me. But Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, even Hive now. Don't know how long that'll be, but I have a Hive.
Oh, so you made a Hive, huh?
I did. Yeah.
I
don't post
do
on
yet.
there as much, but like it's there as an alternative.
Yeah.
I even remade a Tumblr, which is like, whoa, but I just reblog fan art on there. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Tumblr experience. But yeah. And like I said, I've been on hiatus, so I haven't been doing much lately, but hopefully someday. I mean, I started editing a video again the other day for the first time in a while, so it's not Kingdom Hearts related, but
that's okay. You'll bounce back. You'll get back at it.
Exactly. Hopefully, I'll do something at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please go follow Emmy on all that stuff. Before we have you go, Emmy, it's been great having you on. So I have to ask you about something not Kingdom Hearts related.
Okay.
Next week are the Game Awards.
Oh God, yeah.
I'd be amiss if I didn't ask you a bit about the Game Awards because that's kind of your podcast is like video game news.
Mm-hmm. I did Zoom calls with Jeff Keighley.
What? What do you mean you did? What does that mean? You got to explain that a little more.
I know. I put in the really interesting thing first, but it's not as cool as it sounds. 2 years ago, 2020, because it was when lockdown was, Jeff was doing these Zoom calls with fans that you could like sign up for and get picked for. And he was doing these Zoom calls to just kind of like talk about the Game Awards, and sometimes there was guests. So one of the times I was there, it was, I think, Laura Bailey. Todd Howard was there.
Oh, Todd.
Yeah, Todd Howard.
The man.
Oh, boy.
Ashley Johnson, the voice actor for Ellie in The Last of Us. Like, people like that. And I got picked to be a part of some of them. And it was, like, pretty big Zoom calls. But I got to be a panelist on the Todd Howard one somehow.
So wait, you were a panelist with Todd Howard?
Basically, my webcam was on and you could see me.
Did you take a screen cap?
I actually, I have a picture on my phone somewhere because I thought it was funny. Just like my Zoom box next to like Jeff Keighley and Todd Howard.
That is
I don't think I talked during any of them because I was like nervous, and I like, especially for Todd Howard, I was like, I don't even know what do I ask this man? I haven't played any of his games. But yeah, that was a thing. And I actually met a lot of people that I still talk to now through those Zoom calls. So that's
really,
yeah.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So then last year, actually, he didn't do the Zoom calls again, but everyone that was a part of the Zoom calls got like an email with like an invitation to go to the Game Awards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it wasn't open to the public that year because of COVID. But the people that were a part of the Zoom calls got invites, and I couldn't go because I'm in Atlantic, Canada. You know, I'm not going to book a flight and a hotel and all that shit just to go to like this 2-hour thing, see Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
But yeah,
maybe they would have sat you next to your buddy Todd Howard. That would have been great.
Yeah.
That's just so funny. Just thinking about a Zoom call and there's Jeff Keighley, Todd Howard, and then there's Emmy.
Yeah, no, literally, it was funny.
Anyway, what I was gonna ask you is,
I just had to tell that.
No, I think appreciate
it's funny.
it.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's very unique too.
It is,
like who else could say that?
Yeah, you've hit me with two pretty big curveballs today. Yeah. Which doesn't really happen on this show, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm looking at these Game of the Year nominees.
Mm-hmm.
A Plague Tale Requiem.
Yeah.
Elden Ring. God of War Ragnarok. Horizon Forbidden West. Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Mm-hmm.
My question for you is, did anybody win this year?
I mean, I didn't play any of those games.
I was just gonna say, like, I haven't played any of these games. I have God of War. I haven't touched it yet.
I mean, I'll probably play Stray at some point. If Elden Ring goes on sale for like $20 down the road, which it probably will because it's one of those big games, I might check it out. But like, none of those games are really for me. I mean, I think Elden Ring will win. I'd be shocked if it didn't, but
yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people like that are like very sour on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
The Frozen effect.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the weirdest.
I think if Elden Ring or God of War don't win, it's gonna be really weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I honestly can't imagine. Like what? Like if Stray wins or like Plague, like any of them are. I feel like are so weird and out there for like game of the year. You know?
Yeah. Like.
But yeah,
I know people have played Stray, and I think it was like a very popular stream game.
I feel like that's probably why it's up there. Is that a lot of
I only know one person who played Plague. Yeah,
I know. Same with Plague. I was like, I didn't even know people were playing this until I saw that it was nominated for so much.
Yeah,
different circles, I guess. I don't know.
It's kind of like what they do, like with the Oscars or whatever, where they throw like this movie did well, but we know it's not gonna win. Like it's just in there.
It's a nomination.
I can't believe that Marvel Snap is getting snubbed here because
Marvel
it's a
Snap
mobile
is
game.
in the mobile category, I believe.
Yeah, it's in the mobile category, and it should win.
I think it will. That's the only one that I've really heard people talking about.
If Genshin wins, I don't understand. And then I'm gonna pick Cult of the Lamb to beat out Tunic in Best Indie, but that's
dude.
I think Cult of the Lamb has a good shot at that.
I also nominated Cult of the Lamb for like the Steam Awards or whatever for like best soundtrack.
Oh yeah, dude,
I love the soundtrack of that game.
Literally, I don't.
It's so good.
The only game that was nominated for anything that I played this year, and I didn't even finish it, was Pokemon Arceus. That's it.
What was it nominated
for?
What's
that,
open world?
RPG.
Oh, RPG.
Yeah, here it is. Yep.
But
wait a minute. I'm looking at best RPG. Is Triangle Strategy an RPG?
Okay, so some of the categories this year are very questionable because I saw that too, and I was like, "There's literally a category for sim strategy," and I mean, I guess it's kind of an RPG too, but I'm just like, well, Fire Emblem Three Houses, that was considered a sim game or like a strategy game.
Wait. Is Sifu a fighting game?
Yes, that's the other one I was going to say.
That one doesn't make any sense either.
That's the other one I was going to say, was Sifu being nominated for fighting game. People are like, what the fuck? Because it's also nominated for action.
Well, and then the main thing Elden Ring's getting a lot of heat for is that it was nominated for best narrative.
Yeah. Like, I remember people being
mad
about
bro. That doesn't... It is a cool way to do it, but for it to be in the top 5 is copium, bro.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
But yeah, literally, like, the only other new game I played this year was the Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative, and that's, like, niched and get nominated for anything, so I'm just like, well, whatever.
Bless you. Yeah, I'm going through these categories. I'm very confused.
Yeah, it's a weird year, I feel like. Oddly enough, I feel like the most interesting category is the new one, which is Best Adaptation. That has, like, Cyberpunk and, oh god, what's it called? The League of Legends
Arcane.
one. Yeah, that one.
And Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
And Uncharted. I mean, come on. That's the only one that I've seen.
I laughed so hard. I enjoyed that movie in the theater because it's like, most movies are going to be fun in the theater. But like, I laughed when I saw that. I was like, people are going to be, Uncharted fans are going to be mad,
Arcane's going to win, right? Because everybody's riding Arcane pretty hard. But
I think Uncharted should win.
You really do. I was just gonna say, couldn't you see a different timeline where Arcane doesn't happen and Uncharted wins this though?
Sweep.
No, I would think Cyberpunk would probably win.
Yeah, it's between Arcane and Cyberpunk.
Because the recency bias from Cyberpunk.
I'm saying Uncharted is like the Jeff Keighley pick though, right?
No, I think if
it was Last of Us, I think next year that Last of Us show will definitely win.
Uncharted is just not as sad Last of Us, right?
I mean,
I guess.
Uncharted
I think the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 would probably win.
Yeah.
Then.
Really?
I think so.
Mm. Oh yeah, okay. I'm on the esports awards. I don't care about that. The Elden Ring narrative thing is very weird. That's strange.
I feel like I've kind of given up on some Game Awards things. I'm just like, whatever.
Well, I want to stream and watch it, next week, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, do I care about any of this?
I know. That's the thing, is that I feel like I'm not as invested this year because I've played basically none of the nominees.
Yeah.
Like, I remember in 2020, that was a good year to watch it for me because, like, there was Final Fantasy VII Remake and Animal Crossing, which were two big games that I loved.
Right.
So, like, I could cheer them on. But this year, it's just like, I haven't played any of these games, so.
I just don't want to miss another Genshin Impact, you know?
Yeah.
That was a big moment for me when that girl said Genshin instead of Genshin.
Yeah, dude. She was literally signed by 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know how to say Genshin Impact.
That
bro.
was a huge moment for me. I really enjoyed that.
Like, come on, bruh. At least know how to say all 5. You're only announcing one category, bro. Just make sure you know
the
how
winner,
to say
right?
5 games. Like, know how to pronounce them, bro.
Emmy's right though, because that was the winner.
Yeah.
And she said Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there
man.
will be announcements too, but like, I don't know. Last year, I don't remember there being any announcements that I was really into. But who knows?
Yeah.
And the other thing is that those shows are so long.
I know. I remember watching last year.
Jeff? Like, just cut out a few of the trailers.
Right.
I want to watch it just to watch the world burn when Among Us VR wins VR, because everyone's just like, I don't know any of these. Let me choose VR. Among Us VR for the joke.
I know you guys are on TikTok, but have you seen the TikToks of like the Among Us VR of like people scaring children in Among Us VR?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That was like my favorite genre of TikToks for like a week. Just people like screaming and bullying.
How all of these children have a VR.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
And they're like crying because someone killed them.
They're like the new iPad kids, bro. Is like, apparently you just have a VR headset instead of an iPad nowadays, bro. Like, oh my god.
I think Among Us VR should win just for that.
Yeah.
Just for the quality
I can't wait to watch the world
that
burn.
It's given me.
Yeah.
Well, the thing you say people are gonna watch. It's gonna be the world burn, but like, who's heard of
people
these
are
other
gonna be
VR
mad
games?
for no reason.
Who's mad?
Yeah, but like, it's just gonna be outrage.
It's gamers.
Because
They're
people
gonna be
don't
mad
like
over
Among
literally
Us
anything.
just because it's Among Us. Yeah. Like, I don't really like Among Us, but there's people who hate Among Us. Dude, the only thing that will trigger me constantly every year that they do this is that they put 2 voice actors from the same game in best performance, bro. I'm sorry. You can't put 2, like, I don't care how good they are. Decide between the 2 of them, bro. Give another game this spot for best performance. There's not one other
Who
voice
would you have
actor?
given?
That's what I was about to say.
To?
Well, who else?
Dude, like, there is so many games. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. This is just
from
too
Elden
annoying.
Ring.
Exactly,
and
dude.
it's only
Give
ever
me
the
NPC.
English voice actors.
Yeah,
That
that's
too.
true.
Did you guys
That's
see
true.
that tweet about the Japanese God of War sounding like anime or something? The Japanese dub?
No.
No.
Does it sound like anime?
I don't know. I think it's just because
I seen a TikTok where someone was like, "Oh, it sounds like you're watching JoJo in here," and then they come in and they're playing God of War, but it's the Japanese VA.
Huh. Let's check that out. Anyway, we could talk about the Game Awards for the next 3 hours, but I don't want to keep you longer than that. So, Emmy.
Yes.
Why don't you one more time hit people where they can find you so they can follow you?
I am at Emmy Luna Games, literally everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Hive.
Go follow Emmy, all of you.
I think that's it.
Make a Hive and follow Emmy on
Tumblr, Instagram, I don't know.
right now. Emmy, thank you so much for being on. It was a
Thank
blast.
you for
We'd love to have
having
you
me.
on
I
again.
had a lot of fun.
I'm very excited for Luna's Galaxy to come back at some point. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and thank you again for being on. We are going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we're going to do the question of the week. Stay put.
This is Richard Epcar. Welcome to the Ansem Report podcast. Come to the darkness.
Welcome back to the Ansem Report podcast. Shout-outs to Emma Luna for coming on the podcast.
Yes.
She was a great
Big
guest.
shout-outs.
Loved having her. Go check out all her stuff now. If you've never heard of her before for some reason, now's your time to correct that.
You're
Okay.
welcome. And also now you got a backlog.
Right.
So you're welcome again.
Exactly. Go check her out. And check out the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross fan dub when that comes out, when Damo releases that. She will be Ava. And, you know, I hinted at this earlier, but maybe your boys will be in there at some point. Just maybe your boys.
Maybe we're banned.
Maybe we're banned, but also maybe if you listen close enough, you might be able to hear.
Maybe watch it a couple times.
Maybe watch a specific part and listen for us. You might hear us. Anyway, Jason, it is time for the question of the week. Oh yeah. Thank you to Afroxis. Love you, buddy. This week's question of the week is from Kyrie's bro. Kind of a crazy one. What if Mike and Jason never played Kingdom Hearts? What game would they podcast about, and why?
I'm excited to see what people said.
Yeah,
because I didn't look at it.
This is a pretty wild question here. Sean_AFK says, obviously it would be about the Stormlight. I'm gonna guess it'd be like a general video game podcast or an MCU podcast. And then he said, oh fuck, I didn't read the prompt well enough. I'm gonna leave my failure for all to see, but I still think it'd be a general video game podcast. I don't think they'd pick a single thing. And then he edited it again and said, never mind, it'd be a Verum Rex podcast. Verum Rex, if you will, if you're nasty. Elks says, I'm thinking either a Donkey Kong podcast or a Chrono Trigger podcast.
Okay.
Donkey Kong podcast involves the two going from reviewing the DK games to counting how many days it's been since we got a DK game, Sag. Chrono Trigger would involve Mike explaining to Jason the story of the game or something like that.
Okay.
I think, you know, what's funny about this answer is it would just be the same podcast because we'd have an even longer drought of things to talk about with Donkey Kong.
If it was DK,
If it was DK. Or Chrono
There'd be
Trigger.
no end in sight.
Yeah. DK would be a little more ball busting because there'd be like a sliver of hope they're going to make a DK game. There's no chance in hell they're making a Chrono game. The Chrono Cross
maybe in 10
remaster
years.
would have been like the fucking like heyday of the podcast. We would have been celebrating in the fucking streets. You know, the Chrono Cross remaster.
Everyone buy it 5 times, and then maybe they'll make a sequel.
You gotta let them know that we want a new one. Zombie says, I would think a Final Fantasy podcast. The bros play through all the games, yes, even the side game smilers, then talk about the good and bad and the downright awful or goated parts of the game and rate them on a 1 out of 5 scale. That's not a bad idea.
That's pretty specific.
Write that down. Someone write that down. Someone write that down. Egg of Dog says, Mike and Jason would probably do a podcast about the many works of RGG Studios, such as the Ryu ga Gotoku, Like a Dragon Kazuya series of games, Judgment and Lost Judgment. Maybe they would even throw some Koryu on there. I think you meant throw for some spice. There's always something going on, whether it's Lost Judgment, the best game, reportedly getting a TV adaptation, or me getting my heart shattered into pieces when an ancient, shriveled up worm in the shape of a man decides to steal Takuya Kimura, voice actor and model for the protagonist of Judgment and Lost Judgment, away from me because he doesn't want the games on PC.
What?
Or it could be me getting my heart glued back together a year later when the Judgment games do appear on PC because, surprise, that old man-shaped worm fucking died. Rip Bozo. There's hope yet. Judgment 3, baby.
What is happening?
I don't know.
That is not the right answer.
I understood every word he types there except for maybe some of the Japanese names. I have no idea what he's talking about. So thank you, Egg, again.
Next answer.
Pokemon Trainer Jay says, I would think of Final Fantasy podcast. They'd be playing all the mobile games, all the spin-offs that nobody thinks about anymore, like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, My Life as a King, and watching for any news. They might briefly mention Kingdom Hearts when it added in some characters and would refuse to call Squall Leon, even when briefly mentioning Kingdom Hearts. That's true. In that timeline, we hate Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
you understand that. Like in that timeline,
yeah, definitely.
We go, fucking Kingdom Hearts babies. Oh, the story's convoluted. Like that, right? We're like,
we're those people, yeah.
Oh, I needed a thesaurus to read to understand Kingdom Hearts. We're one of those guys in this timeline. Tyler Tylerum says, "Yo, Dark Cloud 2 podcast." Somehow Tyler picked an even more desolate topic than Chrono Trigger and Donkey Kong. I don't know how he did that. Grinverk says, this is hard. I don't know why I put it in there.
This is a hard.
Sorry. Also, I want to, before I go with her answer, Korn mentioned what stripper comics were. She said, okay, so stripper comics are nothing specific. We just drew our own comics that told stories of strippers. LMAO, known freak.
What does stories of strippers mean?
Like they're
they go to the grocery store,
yeah,
or
I don't know.
They're stripping. Like
maybe it's about their lives outside of stripping, or maybe it's about what happens while they strip. I don't know.
Want to be a stripper anymore. It's all I know.
I make too good of money. Anyway, Korn's answer. This is a hard because my gut reaction is Final Fantasy. But outside of 15, I don't think Jay is as into the series as Mike is. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is she wrong?
I liked 10. I liked 8.
I'm not as much of a
7 head.
You don't know as much about it as I do, but you've liked what you've played for the most part.
Yeah. The only one that I was kind of disappointed with was 7. I thought it was going to be mind-boggling.
Well, it's
but then
impossible to live up to the hype that people give it.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd break down the plots for each game, characters and backstories, rank protagonists and antagonists, etc. Maybe even bring on guests who are just as invested in the series but aren't content creators. Copium, dibs on FF10. You know what I just thought about while reading this? This sounds a lot like what Final Fantasy Union does. And even in this other timeline, we are not the longest running podcast. We're losing to a different Union podcast.
We're still losing to Union.
We're still losing to Churro.
So we're just breaking character this whole damn episode.
Dude, don't worry. Next episode, I'll just pretend like it never happened. It'll be fine.
Okay.
It's like when we accidentally missed an episode and just didn't say anything.
And then everyone was like, what happened?
And we just be like, what are you talking about? Zathomir says, I would think it would be interesting in this scenario if Mike and Jason had come across the Metal Gear Solid series and eventually decided to make a podcast about it. I feel like there'd be a lot to talk about throughout the series in regards to the plot/plot twists, and there's a lot of interesting boss encounters. Metal Gear is one of those series that gets compared to Kingdom Hearts a lot because people are like, the story's crazy. They're not similar gameplay-wise, but, I mean, Kojima's pretty about as nutty as Nomura is, so that makes sense to me.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Chris McKay says, Donald Duck going quackers easily. Which apparently is a game. I've never
Going Quackers. I'm gonna have to buy it.
Yeah, that seems like a game we'd have to buy. Oblivion says, obviously it would be a podcast about bug snacks.
Oh.
Okay, my serious answer is Pokemon. I think both bros have played a decent amount in different ways that they can talk about each game for more than one episode and in a variety of different ways. Not even mentioning things like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Unite, Snap,
Ranger.
Pikachu, or any of the other Morbillion standalone side titles. Morbillion. I want to do a Morbius podcast.
That's the real answer.
It's Morbin time. ATK324 says, Disney Dreamlight Valley probably. There's probably the same amount of news about the game as Kingdom Hearts usually has, so they could just rant about Stitch not being in the game every week. True.
Yeah.
True.
Days without Stitch.
They updated it and they didn't include Stitch. You're fond of me, Lobster, ain't ye? Says, not a game, but they'd have a podcast about Limp Bizkit.
Limp motherfucking Biscuit, huh?
Interesting. I mean, I have a lot to say about Limp Bizkit. I'm not gonna lie. They're not that off base. But it wouldn't be a podcast where I talk about how I love Limp Bizkit, that's for sure. Our guest today, Emma Luna, says, Hoonie Pop or Honey Pop if you're nasty. I said that last part. She didn't say that part. And Tyler adds based to her comment. Liberian Gamer says, seriously though, a legit Mike and Jason Cosmere podcast? Count me in, replying to Sean. But their real answer is Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series. And this is slightly selfish since I've only played Persona 5, but I'd love to hear them go through each of these stories. Interesting. Interesting. DP Grant says, I'd enjoy the alternate timeline in which you guys were a Leisure Suit Larry podcast. But for a game series closer to Kingdom Hearts, I could see you both covering Twisted Wonderland. You know, as far as games that are important to my childhood, there's Kingdom Hearts, and then it's tough to find one that's more important than Leisure Suit Larry. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, I played a lot of Leisure Suit Larry. I knew all the security questions to get in, you know.
Okay.
Name
them all right now.
I don't know them anymore.
Fake fan.
Yeah, I'm not a real Leisure Suit Larry fan. Didn't like the newest title, Magna Cum Laude. Not a big fan of that one.
I don't know. I kind of like that.
I like the name. The game's not very good.
Oh, okay. I was saying the name's pretty good.
The name's good. The game itself is not. Venteria says, perhaps we will finally get that Castlevania podcast. In all honesty, I think you guys would do a casual podcast where you talk about everything going on in your lives, stories of work, etc. Or maybe in some weird reality, you guys liked The World Ends With You. Make a podcast on that and just crap on Kingdom Hearts. That's like the reality where that Scarlet Witch should have found, where there just wasn't Scarlet Witch, but her kids existed. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. Critical Queen says, first time answering question of the week. Welcome. I'll hear this whenever I catch up. My gut reaction would definitely be general Final Fantasy or maybe Pokemon podcast, but like just a casual podcast about anything and everything would be dope too. Or just a VMK, Virtual Magic Kingdom podcast, because it feels weird not to have it somewhat Disney related. Do people remember VMK? That shit had me in a chokehold as a kid. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Interesting.
Is that the one where it's like the it was basically like Amiibos, but like
that's Disney Infinity.
But like Disney. That's Infinity, yeah.
Well, I'm looking this up. Virtual Magic Kingdom.
Is this like a MMO?
It's like I think it's like a Club Penguin-y MMO kind of deal.
Yeah, okay. Like maybe like a Webkins type deal.
Well, it looks like My VMK is a free recreation of the classic Disney game Virtual Magic Kingdom. You can play on anything you want. So someone made like a free version of it because it doesn't exist anymore? It was a massively multiplayer online game developed by Walt Disney Parks and Resorts.
Huh. It was a Disney MMO, huh?
It was a virtual representation of Disneyland-style theme parks containing areas and minigames which were based on real park scenery and attractions. The beta version opened publicly in May of 2005, with new lands opening up through 2007. Huh.
This is only up for like a couple of years?
Yeah.
Huh.
And you could only play from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Like, sorry, park's closed.
Because they didn't want like weirdos up in the middle of the night. That's actually a decent idea. Like, why don't other MMOs do that? Like, why can't I play Club Penguin at 4 a.m? That shit don't make no sense, you know?
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
I mean, that's what like V Rising did, where it's like you can only raid other people's bases from like 5 or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or something.
Oh, well, that makes sense though, because then you can be like, okay, I got to be on for the raid times, right?
Yeah. Or it's like you don't like let's say you're playing during that time, because that's like, you know, that's when a lot of people are playing. You know, you get home from work, you hop on the game. You're more likely to be on when other people are doing it, and then also like you're not losing the progress at like 3 a.m. to some degenerate.
Right.
It's me. I'm the degenerate raiding your base.
You are. Dude, maybe we'll have to do a stream of Virtual Magic Kingdom, dude.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have to. StuCat says, probably a Final Fantasy podcast, and eventually they'll do spin-offs and they play Kingdom Hearts. They'll play 1, 2, and 3 and say that the games are shit, don't have enough Final Fantasy, and that they make no sense. They don't know who the fuck Roxas is, or who Xion is, or who any of the BBS characters are, and they'll go back to talking about the Dissidia update or Chocobo GP the next week.
Hell yeah.
See, StuCat knows. StuCat knows.
Hell yeah.
This is the one
timeline. Most realistic one.
This is the one timeline that we like Kingdom Hearts. Every other one, we're like that. I just want you guys to know.
You guys are in the best timeline.
You guys are in the best timeline. I'm fucking Reed Richards coming down through the fucking portal and being like, Kingdom Hearts is based. Cheery Theoden says, Alex beat me to the Chrono Cross / Trigger idea, so I'll say Spyro. No real reason other than the fact that I'm around the same age as y'all, and Spyro was a big part of my childhood, so I assume it was for y'all as well. Could compare the OG games to the remakes, play sequels that released after your Spyro playing days, and read some Spyro fanfics. I assume there are Spyro fanfics. I hate to tell you this, Cheery Theoden, I've never played Spyro a day in my life.
I played it at a friend's house, and I was like, yeah, let's go back to playing like Jak and Daxter.
The only Spyro thing that you know what I think of when I think of Spyro? That meme where it's like fat Spyro and he says, yum, cigarettes. That's the only thing I know about Spyro. I don't know why.
I don't know anything about it at all. I just know that like I saw like stuff for the remaster and people were hyped for it, and I was like, okay, that's cool.
I just know that you can get a lot more clout speedrunning Spyro than you can Kingdom Hearts.
That's true. That's true.
Pokemon Trainer Jay says, it's too late to change my answer, but it seems like you both want to do a Marvel Snap podcast, so do that. I got a new deck, Jason.
Oh, snap.
I started running a Patriot deck.
Whenever anyone I just say oh snap to everything.
So
that's the name of the podcast as well.
Oh snap. I started running a Patriot deck, and so Patriot, he's an ongoing card with three cost and 1 power, right?
Okay.
But no matter where you place him, any card you have out that has no abilities get +2 power. So the deck consists of things like the Hood, Squirrel Girl, Mr. Sinister, Shocker, the Thing.
Well, Mr. Sinister has ability, right?
Right, but his clone doesn't.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And so then the goal is to be winning in a couple, right? And then turn 5, you play the Patriot, and then everybody boosts up. And then if you're really in trouble, you play Ultron at the end, who's
ooh, yeah.
And he puts, clones everywhere, 1 power, but they're actually 3 power. Also, White Tiger's in the deck. I have some cards that have abilities in the deck, like Captain America and Psylocke. I mostly have Psylocke in there because I just fucking love Psylocke.
Psylocke is the love of my life. That's true.
Psylocke is my favorite X-Man. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, that was the Snap version, or the Snap part of our podcast. Orpheus Joshua says, sexual advice podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Watcat Diana says, you would probably do a Final Fantasy podcast so you could do Final Fantasy X and X-2, and then move on to other Square titles so you could talk about Chrono Trigger Cross. Diana doesn't know the Chrono series. And you would eventually talk Kingdom Hearts because destiny is never left to chance. I like it.
This is the Thanos line.
Yeah.
They're like, where did it bring you? Back to me.
It's Nomura. Brought you back to me.
What was he cooking, dude?
In there? I don't know, dude.
Do you know that meme?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah. No one knows.
What was he cooking?
Kyrie's bro says, well, for this question, I had to dive deep into the SpikeGhetti vault. 7 years ago on the Super SpikeGhetti Bros YouTube channel, the first video is of a game called Hipster Calypse, a point-and-click adventure from Newgrounds.
That was a bad game.
In this alternative reality, Mike becomes obsessed with this game. He himself becomes a hipster. He gets Jason into Hipster Calypse, and they create the Hipster Report podcast, all about hipsters in this old game. Somehow it's wildly popular, but all us fans are hipsters. It's a dreadful world. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, Kyrie's bro, that is a timeline that does not exist. I can just say
in the infinite multiverse.
I've used the time stone to look at every outcome, and that's not one of them. Billy the Kid Lawrence says, I don't know, there's probably a universe out there where they made a podcast about Pokemon. Imagine the chaos of them doing a tier list for every single one of those little fuckers. Also, let's not forget, in every one of those games, you usually start out small, the new kid in town, who then goes on the biggest journey of their life, wanting to be the very best, like no one ever was. He's gonna make me sing the theme song, isn't he? To catch them is your real test. To train them is your cause. You travel across the land, searching far and wide, teaching Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. I'll spare you the rest of the lyrics, but at the end of the day, we all know how it goes. You do become the very best, like no one ever was. A true Pokemon champion. But no matter what, deep in your heart is the connection to that small town you once came from at the beginning of the game. The connection to that first person you usually speak to upon waking up in your nerdy little bedroom. The one who paved the way for you to become who you are. The one who paved the way for you to become who you are. Who are you are. What? Hold on.
Okay.
The one who paved the way for you to become who are you are in the end. Your surefire.
Who you are.
Mommy. She deserves that good old Professor Oakwood for all her love and care that she's provided for you throughout the years up to that point. Shout out to all the hardworking mommies out there. We love you. We respect you. Keep raising your little ones to be the best they can be, like no one ever was before, so they can grow up to do cool things like this podcast. Mommy. Sorry, Billy the Kid. I didn't mean to ruin your joke.
I thought he was going to go with the Nurse Joy mommy angle. Not the actual mommy.
I didn't mean to ruin
I was like,
the
that's
mommy
too much
joke.
of a layup.
But the who are you are really threw me off.
Yeah.
Sean says, you have a Kingdom Hearts podcast in all the multiverse except one. In that one, you both die before you get to start it.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I agree with AFK's answer.
Oh my god!
Thank you, Sean's.
Oh my
Ain't
god!
No way.
That was so morbid.
Jip214 says, we already know that the Ansem Report podcast is the longest running podcast in the multiverse.
True.
Not even Kingdom Hearts, just the longest running podcast. Jip's a little mistaken here.
Podcast, straight up.
He
Okay.
didn't even say Kingdom Hearts. He just said longest running podcast.
Yeah.
True. So the question is not what Mike and Jason talk about, but who created the Answer Report podcast in this timeline. In this distant timeline, Mike dies in a car accident.
No!
And Jason never discovers Kingdom Hearts. He becomes a Call of Duty content creator.
No!
Pepe hands. Anyway,
not like this.
A young man decides to create a podcast about his favorite game after winning a contest. He cannot come up with a name, but suddenly, like a fly getting ran over by a semi-truck, it hits him. The Ansem Report podcast. That man was none other than Kurt Ziza. All right, Jip. All right. All right, and then
you
finally,
guys stop saying where like we die like that.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. This week's question really gonna be, me and Jason are gonna die someday. So how are we gonna die? Like, is that the next question of the week? Like, what are you guys doing? Finally, we have Genghis Khan, who says, "I think I'm supposed to be reading this as me." That's quoted. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Honey Pop Culture Podcast, the longest running horny podcast on the internet. I'm here with my baby boy brother, Jason Uwu, and boy, do we have a show for you today. First of all, guys.
To say uwu.
Oh, were you supposed to say Uwu?
I think so.
Do you want to do it again?
Keep going.
No,
Keep going.
I'm here with my baby boy brother, Jason.
Uwu.
And boy, do we have a show for you today. First of all, guys, we got to talk about the trailer that just dropped for Honey Pop 4 Arkham Knight. Jason, at this point, you're supposed to riff about how stinky Poison Ivy's feet look in the trailer.
Okay.
So just pretend that happened, guys. Will Catwoman finally be fuckable?
Because that's a lie. I can't do that.
Will she? And we're also going to dissect the theory that Audrey and Celeste are actually the same character from separate timelines. Last but not least, we will be reading the answer to this week's question of the week. Did Elon deserve it?
What? What the fuck?
Thank you, Genghis Khan, for that one. Jason, do you have an answer to this question of the week?
Okay, if we didn't do Kingdom Hearts, I feel like it'd probably just be like a general one, honestly. Like,
well, I mean, okay, I gotta tell you guys, the Ansem Report podcast is not our first podcast, actually. We had a meme podcast.
That's true.
Called What Do You Meme? Exclusive to YouTube. Still up, actually. But that's
probably incredibly cringe, so check it out.
It's very cringe. It's very... it's not the worst thing we've done, but it's pretty cringe. But that would not be the answer either, because we stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Obviously. I'm trying to think of things I love that I could talk about, like Kingdom Hearts. Oh my god, Emmy just sent us the Zoom call with her and Todd Howard.
What? What the?
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Yo, also shout out to Chris.
Yeah, Chris is in there too. What a legend. Got the green screen going. Look at all Todd's awards behind him.
Yeah, dude, in like books and...
What a legend. Wait, does Jeff Keighley have a Batarang behind him?
He has a Game Award and a Batarang, yeah.
Huh. Is Jeff Keighley Batman?
He might be.
Incredible. Anyway, I guess, you know, I'm trying to think of something that... Final Fantasy is a good answer, right? Because I clearly love that series, and you've gotten into it more as the years have gone on. But I think...
Yeah.
I think you've only gotten into it more because I've pushed it because we were doing, like, Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah, and it made sense. And
right.
I remember like playing the beginning of like 8 before and just getting lost, or like playing the beginning of 10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like tactics as well, so that's kind of also like my gateway drug to Final Fantasy as well.
Maybe you know, I used to really be into Assassin's Creed. Like the game between 2 and 3, I would have told you it's like my favorite game series.
Yeah, because I mean 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, they were really good.
Right. And then 3, even though I didn't like 3 as much, I was still like holding on. I was like, okay, it's not my favorite game series, but I really like it.
Yeah.
And then I liked Black Flag, and then I just kind of fell off.
Black Flag was cool. Yeah.
You know what the actual answer is? It's not a game. But I think the actual answer is a pro wrestling podcast.
That's what I thought you were gonna say. Yeah,
that's probably the actual answer, because pro wrestling is just one of those things. Even though I don't watch it every night when it's on, it's just something I just keep up with. Like, I'll read about it and like you know what I mean. And I like talking about it, even though
it's entertaining.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit cringe, but it's entertaining. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody. I know they know who the winner's gonna be. Okay. All right.
Wait, what?
Tell me you don't know about wrestling.
What?
But don't say you don't know about wrestling. Anyway, I guess that's probably the answer. Jason, I actually have a question of the week for next week because I was going to use it last week.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of the best way to word it. So Christmas is upon us, and it is the season of giving gifts.
It's imminent.
And receiving gifts. Okay, this is how I'll phrase it. If you've gotten a cool Kingdom Hearts gift for Christmas before, what was it?
Okay.
Or if you haven't, or you can answer both, I don't care. What is a Kingdom Hearts gift you would like to receive for Christmas? Even if this thing doesn't fucking exist, right? You're like, yo, I want a toothbrush of a Oblivion Keyblade, right?
Okay.
I just came up with that off the dome. That sounds pretty cool, actually.
Nah, that sounds kind of hype.
That sounds really awesome. It sounds like I'm going to cut my fingers open while brushing my teeth.
You probably cut your gums as well, yeah.
That's true. But anyway, think of what the best Kingdom Hearts related Christmas present would be for you. Or if you've gotten one, share what you've gotten. Let us know. A good holiday episode. Next episode will be episode number 29. of the Ansem Report. Thank you again for Emmy thank you again to Emmy for being on the podcast. Emma Luna Games, Luna's Galaxy. Go follow her everywhere. She's awesome, and we really enjoyed having her on. Jason, do you have anything else to say? Oh, wait. There's one thing I want to talk about. I forgot. We're not ending the podcast yet. Even though it's going to be like a 2-hour podcast. You may have seen now on Twitter and in our Discord a piece of art depicting our sub-a-thon. So, it's happening, like we said before, December 13th, which is a little more than a week away, on twitch.tv/SuperSpikeGhetti We have announced the cap. The cap is 120 hours.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. A lot of people were shocked by that, but hey, if you guys give enough subs, we will stream for that long. We're psychopaths.
It's true.
We're going to start with Kingdom Hearts Recoded at 2 p.m. on that Tuesday, the 13th. And we're going to play that game to completion, and then we're going to go from there. Playing it. First time playing it ever. We've never played Recoded. We've watched the movie, but we've never played the game. So we're going to do that. We're also going to do a lot of different fun stuff. Tara's going to be there at times. Maybe there might be points where we have to sleep. Water KH has teased something. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but he's teased something.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different things going on. We're going to play a lot of different games. Maybe games that you've wanted us to play before. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a few games on this list.
Maybe games that we've played before, but maybe haven't finished.
Yeah,
maybe
that. Definitely not Judgment.
Yeah, that won't be there.
Judgment is not on the list. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. Maybe there's some speedrun stuff going on in there. A lot of different things happening. Maybe a specific DLC for a specific game that we'd never started, but a lot of people want us to finish it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a rock band in there. Who knows? Who knows? So each sub or equivalent in bits and or donations will add 10 minutes to the timer.
It's true.
And
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited. I love big event streams. I almost love big event streams so much I almost don't want a normal stream. Like I only stream when it's a charity event or a sub-a-thon.
Yeah.
Or a live Ansem report.
Yeah.
And I will reveal one more thing.
Ooh.
If we are gifted 10 subs, not at once, just 10 subs
Just
overall, we
Combined.
will be doing an Ansem Report podcast live as part of the sub-a-thon. That's right, folks.
What?
Ansem Report podcast live. It would be episode 30. Dirty 30.
Oh, wow.
Dirty 30. So, of season 2, which is really episode 181 overall.
Okay.
Longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more surprises in store. We have a lot of really cool stuff planned. And so we're very excited. We hope you will all join us for that. Also, I think we're streaming the Game Awards next week. I think we're going to do that. I think I'll be able to get out of work in time, and so we'll hop on and do that because we like doing those event streams. So look forward to that. That's on the 8th, I believe. Yes, Thursday the 8th. Game Awards, 7:30 p.m. EST. Check it out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and watching to this week's Ansem Report podcast. Thank you again to Emmy for coming on. Jason, hit him with it.
May your heart be your guiding key.
Thank you.
Now fuck off.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode number 28 of the Ansem Report podcast, the longest running Kingdom Hearts podcast in the world by those damn podcasters. Thank you all for listening and watching. Thank you to Emma Luna for coming on the show. She was a blast. Go follow her on everything. And thank you to Shane and Jesse of Meadow Vista Media for the song Radiant Garden, which is the Ansem Report podcast theme song. And you're listening to it right now. You know how fucking good it is. Jason, I'm going to do the thing where I ask you if you know we have a Patreon or not.
Oh my god.
Jason,
okay, just ask me.
Do you know that we have a Patreon?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
How about you enlighten me?
Well, let me tell you, we have a lot of really cool people that give us money monthly on patreon.com/SuperSpikeGhetti in exchange, theoretically, for content that we're really behind on. But I promise we're working on it.
Wow.
We still haven't watched Avengers. So you'd think it'd be easy for me to watch a movie that I actually like, but it's been a problem. But we will do that soon. Why don't we, as part of our agreement, we did say we will read off your names at the end of the podcast. So why don't we do that? Jason, you start us off.
You're famous for nothing.
Nesquick 502.
Billy the Kid Lawrence.
Corinne Verg.
Dr. Lambic.
DP Grant.
SpikeGhetti.
Gavin Dodson.
Iron Aggro.
Iron Daddy Sean.
It's your boy Woody.
Lisa S.
Mr. Trumpeter 711.
Charles Barkley.
Water KH.
Zach P.
Pokemon Trainer J.
Elbow Juice.
Panda Love.
Frank Verg.
Shane Plunkett.
Unholy Dolphin.
Vetus.
What's up, Carl?
Lands of Masters.
Regular Pat YT.
Get Roxel.
Jip 214.
Warning. You know it's coming every time.
I know, and I even did it. I thought, okay, if I say regular Pat like that, I won't laugh. Nope, I still laughed. Armandito.
Librarian Gamer.
Kyrie's Bro.
Afro Roxas.
Dick Butt 23.
Travis Town Jr.
Cheney.
Phil Games.
Strawberry Mango.
What's better than Dick Butt 23? Dick Butt 24.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being supporters on patreon.com/SuperSpikeGhetti. We really appreciate you. We'll be back next week with episode number 29, and maybe, just maybe, we'll watch Avengers and finish Fine, I'll Do It Myself. Just maybe. But thank you guys so much again. We will see you next week.